Dear boomers, if you keep telling the same sad, small story, you will continue to live the same sad, small story. That is a quote by Jean Houston. These stories we tell ourselves all the time, day in and day out. They're part of the 60,000 thoughts that we have every day. They shape our reality. And there are many examples of this sort of thing that limit the impact of our lives. We can we can see how stories are not just reflections of our experiences, but frameworks for our beliefs and actions. There's such a thing as self-fulfilling prophecy, where you live up to the expectations set up by the narratives and the stories that we tell. We can see how reframing the stories that we tell ourselves can release us from a situation where we are attracting incidences that are less than beautiful, let's say. We can talk about how to uncover these limiting stories we tell ourselves by simply telling another story. You can do a journaling prompt that says, what do I believe about myself that holds me back? And you can go deeply into your mind to recognize repeated patterns or themes in complaints or frustrations that actually just show that you're not taking responsibility for that part of your life. And this is what we need to do. We must pay attention to the words that we use to describe ourselves and our lives. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So, a small story is I'm not good enough. I don't have enough money. I live on a limited income. It's too late for me. I'm just going to die anyway. But we need to rewrite these stories. We have to become the author of our own lives. We can create empowering narratives for ourselves. Listen to your self-talk and be aware when it happens and reframe it. At least say to yourself, well, I didn't mean to say that. I'm going to change that. Visualize your big life goals and setting those goals that align with that vision. That's very important. Reframe your challenges as opportunities for growth. That is a universal truth. We can write the story of your last life 5 years from now without limits. Think of your life without limits from here on out and live your life as if you have no limits. I was just listening to a beautiful woman describe one of the things to release our leaky parts of our energy systems is to realize if you have to have a hard conversation with somebody, you should have that conversation in a loving way. No blaming, no finger pointing, just, basically tell them how you feel and how this has affected you. If you want to ask for a divorce, ask for a divorce, but only do so with a loving intent. And those sorts of conversations help release our leaky parts that need to be healed. People who have changed their lives by telling their stories. We have discussed storytelling here in this video channel before. We had Matt Dix on here, and he describes storytelling at great length and has made quite a purpose in his life for telling stories. And people who tell their stories overcome adversity as they reframe their narratives. You could look at Oprah, Viktor Frankl, who, for some miraculous reason, was able to get away from a concentration camp in Nazi Germany. And there's also Nelson Mandela. He was in jail for God, I think it was 28 years, and then he became the head of state. So, growth mindsets support rewriting your story. We need to, work on the way that we think, the way if we have emotions that are debilitating, we raise our vibrational field to one of forgiveness and unconditional love purposely. We look at the way we speak to ourselves and the way we speak to others. Concentrate on your tone of voice and make sure it's a loving tone and a constructive tone. Surround yourself with people who inspire and encourage you and who support your big story. We can, build a community of people that support transformation. And nobody is perfect, but we can perfect ourselves by doing these things. So reflect on your own stories that you're telling yourself. Get beyond this small story of lack and self-hatred. We have to love ourselves above all else. The more we learn to love ourselves and stand in our strength, our stories will become a vision of not only the future, but of the present moment. So take a look at your own false beliefs and identify them and write a new story that will help yourself and radiate out to everyone you meet. There is a video that shows up right here. Take a look, like, and support the channel.